Hi, this is John Minson reporting for Bit from London. Have you ever wondered where computer games come from? Maybe they just drop out of the sky. Or perhaps there are lines of slaves chained to their keyboards. Or perhaps they come from inside the heads of people like these. Electronic Pencil Company is one of Britain's leading programming teams. They work from a small studio in North London. Benny, how did you get into computing?
Well, it started when I was at college. That's when I first met computers. And I bought a BBC computer, and I started playing games really on them, started programming them, thought it was great fun. And when I left college, I got a job in commercial programming. That was a bit boring, and I soon left that. Became a professional games writer, and didn't like where I was working. So I left and started my own company up.
Right, and that's Electronic Pencil Company?
Yep.
How many people are there here now?
4 now, 4 altogether. Two graphic artists, 2 programmers.
Anna, how did you become involved in Electronic Pencil?
Well, shortly after I met Ben, he asked me to do some graphics on a part-time basis, and it sort of progressed from there.
Had you had any art training before?
No, not computer graphics, but I had done a year at art college.
It must be very different working on a screen than on paper.
It is, but I caught on to it quite quickly and I'm pretty used to it now.
So, what sort of things do you do?
Well, Benny generally comes with some sketches he's done on backs of envelopes, and I take those, animate them using commercial art packages, design them in however many directions he wants them, and then we slot them together at the end.
So you're involved with the development of the game right from the start?
Oh yeah. So we all sit down together and talk it all out, decide.
Look, I think these drawings are really good. It could work.
No, but it would be another graphical text adventure. We want to break away from that mold.
We need another strategy game.
Okay, let's put these away then. How about going back in the past then?
Yeah.
Say, a game set in a castle, a medieval castle.
Storm in the castle.
Storm in the
Dungeons
castle.
and Dragons.
Yeah, but let's put another element of strategy in, because, I mean, we're okay on that. We can do strategy games.
Yeah.
Let's combine strategy with adventure. Adventure strategy game.
Okay. Strategy and adventure. What about a group of characters that you've got to get through the castle and you've got to control them?
Yeah, okay.
And that's the strategy.
How many characters?
I don't know. 6?
6 characters. I suppose each one could have its own name and characteristics. And let's place them in a castle with lots of traps.
Right.
Play heavy on the traps as well.
If the player controls, say, 3 or 4, well, I have to say 6 characters, and then he gives each one orders, and they carry them out in some form, and he has to basically keep control of his band of men, because they can do their own thing.
What? Do you mean they have their own
intelligence and sort of like, yeah, they can.
Okay, I think that's great. So, Wayne, why don't you put it on paper, some of the thoughts we've discussed. Anna, go and take some photographs. Do some sketches as well. We'll combine it together, show the results to Jackie, and we'll take it from there, okay?
Okay.
What she thinks, yeah.
Go for it.
Jackie, when did you meet Electronic Pencil?
Well, I first met Benny at the end of 1983 when he was working for Thorny MI. And he came to me because he wanted to become a freelance developer. At that particular point, Island Records, that is, had a software arm, and they were looking for programmers of Benny's quality. He was, without doubt, one of the most, and still is, one of the most gifted developers that actually I represent.
So, as an agent, they come to you with a game and you find somebody to sell it to?
Yes, simplistically, yes.
Right, Jackie, here's the initial spec.
Thank you.
It's briefly, it's a game set in a castle.
Yes.
What we call it Broadsword. It's an arcade adventure.
Yes.
So this is the castle. This is the real layout of the
Yes.
real castle.
Yes.
And we're dividing it up into levels.
How many?
I think we'll have about 6 levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, each level will have its own puzzles,
Yes.
and it'll start off outside the castle, and as the player progresses, you'll get deeper and deeper, harder as well. The game will get very hard towards the end,
Yes.
and you'll
then
end up in the tower of the
that's it.
castle.
The tower there.
Yes.
And we'll probably have 2 levels. There's the tower.
Okay, what is the final objective?
Well, the final objective is to gather the 4 pieces of a lost sword of Albion.
Yes.
They're going to be scattered throughout the castle. But I think the important thing about this game is the way it's going to be represented on the screen.
Yes.
We're going to try and capture this adventure element, but mix it with the strategy.
Yes.
You obviously went to a real castle.
Yes, we went to Warkworth Castle in Northumberland. We thought we'd choose a real castle because of the authenticity it would give us. We felt if we designed our own castle, it might be a bit too square and geometric and possibly a bit boring. We took the floor plans and we divided them up into levels. Then we took each level and divided them up into rooms.
So, Benny, how do you get the design into the computer?
Well, first thing, you've got to clear the design in your mind, and a bit of paper helps. If you take the actual game, call this the game, you can split it up into its logical parts. For example, the title sequence, the introduction, and the various screens, call them, I don't know, A, B, and C. Once we've got these parts, we can then start connecting them up. How they'll actually be connected in the game, maybe the player presses fire on the joystick. He goes from the title to introduction, press fire there. Or if he dies, he goes to the end sequence. Once we know how the parts are connected, we can actually start coding them into the computer. So you just put empty subroutines and say, this is the title sequence, this is how it dies. This is where the game is actually played. Once that's there, it's just a case of filling in the gaps. It sounds simple. It isn't simple, and it doesn't work like that usually. Okay, I don't think it's quite working. What we have here is a castle, a bird's eye view of the castle, and the camera view, which is supposed to represent the castle. And I don't think these windows are big enough to show all the action. And I think they look a bit too plain. Sometimes these characters walk off when you don't expect them to.
Yes, I don't like that. I think it's bad when you don't see all the action. I feel you're not seeing enough.
Okay, so we're going to change it. One of us is going to have to speak to Jackie. And since I thought it's I'm not going to do it. Hi, Jackie. Yeah, everything's okay. Game's looking good. Well, we've actually decided to change it a bit. Well, some parts of it weren't looking the way we expected. And we thought, yeah, well, not to worry. It's not a major change. It's just the way it looks. It's the front end of the game. We're going to redesign the front end. It's going to look totally different. Oh, it'll be all right. It's not going to slow things down. Don't worry. It's going to look brilliant.
Kan Benny på Electric Pencil Company lösa problemet med sitt nya spel Broadsword? Fortsättning följer nästa vecka.
Hi, this is John Minson reporting from London for Bit. A dark, mysterious castle. Deep inside its chambers, 6 brave warriors search for the 4 missing parts of the Sword of Albion.
But their adventure is nothing compared with the events taking place here. High above this busy London street, top programming team Electronic Pencil are creating an epic game about that search.
Benny, you're the programmer. How long ago is it since you first started work on Broadsword?
Well, the original idea started back in 1984, 1985, but we didn't really start serious programming on it since about 2 years ago.
2 years? That's quite a long time for a computer game, isn't it?
Well, a game normally takes about 9 months.
Why is Broadsword taking so much longer then?
Well, we had a few problems with the publisher being taken over, but before that they wanted a few graphics changing.
I seem to remember that those changes were quite large as well. Can you show them to us?
Yeah, sure. Well, this part of the game is going to remain unchanged. Basically, you have your 6 characters here, and you have to decide which weapons to give them. So you can choose from a portfolio here of different weapons, although the graphics need a bit more doing to them. You pick a weapon, there'll be a graphics here of the actual sword or the axe, whatever you pick, and a brief description, and then you can choose to give that weapon to this character. Once you've armed all 6 characters, you then enter the castle. Clicking on this icon here will take you into the status screen. Each character has a little window associated. Along the bottom of the screen are the icons which control these windows. If you click on this icon, the strength of each character will be displayed. And if you click on this icon, his intelligence will be displayed. Over here is the camera icon. With it from here, we can select which camera angle to choose. Now, there are about 70 cameras in the first level of the castle. Clicking on one of these will let you see the castle from that particular viewpoint. At the top of the screen, the overall map shows you the whole castle and the little white dots of it. This is so that although characters may be spread around on the castle, you can quickly see where each character is. At the top of the screen is the timeout. If you click on the timeout, you can give orders to each of the characters. The characters look like little board pieces on a big board. Selecting one of these will bring up a menu, and from the menu you can choose various commands. For example, go to. A little white arrow gets drawn to show you where the character will move. Once you've finished giving all your characters their orders, you can then go and play the game.
Did you decide to change this?
Well, we felt the screen was a bit too cluttered. Although the adventure side of the game was quite clearly shown, we feel that the strategy part, the planning of the movement of your characters, where they go and what they should do, it was all hindered by the three-dimensional views of the cameras.
Meanwhile, Anna and Aisha are at work on the graphics. Aisha, you're creating the scenery that we found in the castle. Can you show us how you do that?
I will explain the menu system to you first. We have a lot of colors to choose from, but we can only use 16 colors, unfortunately. So we must choose our colors very carefully. I try to use shades of colors so that I can use it in terms of shadow for objects, which will make them look more three-dimensional. We also have a lot of different kinds of paintbrushes, which give different kinds of effects. There is a list of other commands here, which do lots of other things, like boxes, circles, or outlining something that we've already drawn beforehand. If we go into the main picture here, this is a screen that I've already drawn beforehand. I'll show you how this was put together. And a very useful command in doing this sort of graphics is the zooming in command. If we zoom in, we get a close-up of the picture we are drawing. It's much easier to use your colors and manipulate your object when you get it closer up. After you finish drawing your picture, you can use the cut command, which in turn will cut out the picture you've already drawn, and you can carry it anywhere in the screen. In this case, I've put my candlestick on the table here. If we zoom into the table, there we go. You can see that I've put dark colors under my candlestick. This gives a more three-dimensional effect to the whole picture and makes it look like there are shadows on the table coming from the candlestick. So at the end, I draw things separately and put them together to create a whole picture.
You're animating the characters who will wander through the castle, Anna.
Yes, that's right. I'm using a different paint package for Maisha, but the principles are just the same. I design my character and then change them slightly by altering small bits. And then I take each piece and put them next to one another in a sequence, which I then animate and see if anything's going wrong, and then I change it to make it right.
Basically easy language to learn, but it's far too slow for professional programs. So how does Benny let the computer know that if the player pushes the joystick right, the character on screen should turn anti-clockwise?
Well, I have this programming system which lets me develop on a set of simple routines, rather like an upside-down pyramid. So if I want the character to turn right when the joystick is right, the routine first calls another routine which looks at the joystick, and if the joystick is pushed, calls another little man on the screen. And that's it. Let's give the game a look a bit like a chessboard, so that the parts of the castle are represented by a chessboard, and little men move around on this chessboard.
So the board could represent each room.
It's September 1989, and at last, Broad is nearing completion. Hi there, everybody.
Hi.
How's it going?
Very well.
Great. Well, have you got anything new to show me then?
Yep. We've got the new look broadsword.
Great, let's see it then.
Here's the game board. As you can see, it's in the shape of a room of a castle. I think Anna and Aisha have done a really good job on the marble effect here. Now on the board are the symbols I talked about before. Clicking on the symbol will open up a window showing you the graphics. Okay? As you can see, the graphics are sort of much bigger than before, and you can really see what it's supposed to be. If I click here, you can see you go onto another game board. So each room in the castle has a little chessboard, represent law, and symbols which represent the important parts in that castle. Here's another one, and it shows you it's a scroll. If I go back, you can see the two characters here fighting on the board. So all the action in a room will be seen all at once. Up here is the control screen for the little men. I think it's a big improvement on what it was before. I think the screen's much simpler, it's much more elegant, and it's just a whole better system, I think.
It's certainly a lot easier to see what's going on now. How much longer till it's finished?
We think it's about another 2 months now.
That's great, so early next year people should be able to go into the shops and buy it.
Yep. Yes, and I think they'll enjoy playing it. We've put a lot of hard work into it, and we're really proud of it.